Hey everybody, welcome to the show Board Game Reviews. This week we are going to be looking at Planet Apocalypse. Planet Apocalypse is a 1 to 5 player cooperative tower defense game where the hordes of hell are invading planet Earth, and our ragtag band of heroes is the last bastion of hope to prevent these horrible hordes from invading our planet, destroying all of our cities, and bring ruin and damnation to our entire planet. Now, if you're not familiar with the concept of a tower defense game, the basic idea of a tower defense game is all these different hordes and all these monsters and all these enemies are going to be slowly marching towards a goal. Our goal as the heroes is to stop the invasion of these horrible monsters, or in this case, these demons, from reaching their goal, which is going to bring the end game for us. Now, there's a couple different ways this game is going to come to an end. One of the ways this game can come to an end is if the Doom track ever gets to level 13. If the Doom track ever gets to level 13, the whole planet is doomed and our heroes have lost in their effort to destroy these horrible demon hordes. The other way our heroes are going to lose is if this horrible great lord ever makes it to the starting space where our heroes start the game. If he ever gets to the starting space, our heroes also have lost the game. The only way our heroes are ever going to win the game, though, is that as a group, if our heroes can fight their way through all these hordes of all these monsters, these demons and these creatures, they can fight through all these different horrors, confront the Lord, bring the Lord down all the way down to 0 hit points, and destroy the Lord, then our heroes have won the game and they've saved the planet until the next invasion begins. Now, Planet Apocalypse is going to play out over rounds, and every single round is going to start with the team phase. At the very start of the round, during the team phase, what is going to happen is the players are going to switch out who is a current team leader, and then they are going to get the chance to heal up, apply some first aid. They're going to get the chance to start buying gifts, and these gifts are going to allow us to power up our heroes, which is one of the really cool things about this game. Because every single one of our heroes comes with a character hero sheet. And every one of our heroes starts with a basic set of skills and abilities, and the most important thing, every one of our heroes has a flaw. That flaw is always in play, and you must be very smart about how you build your team every time you play the game. It's a smart combination of good skills, good powers, and abilities, while making sure you're minding your flaws, because these flaws can also create a lot of problems for our heroes. Some of the flaws make our heroes cowards. They can't attack super powerful enemies. Some of the flaws are some of our heroes are loners. They don't want to travel around with patrols going out with them. So all of our different heroes have these different flaws, and you have to be very mindful every time you play the game to watch the flaws. Make sure that the weaknesses of the flaws don't overpower our strengths, which is our strengths are what we are going to need to defeat the Lord. What is going to happen at the start of the game on the team phase is what players are going to do is get the chance to buy these gifts. Now, these gifts are going to allow us to power up our heroes even more. Like I said, every one of our heroes starts with a basic set of abilities, but these gifts are going to give us extra special abilities, and these gifts are going to cycle out as the game goes through, which adds a lot of extra variety and extra replay to the game, because the amount of gifts that's going to come into the game starts off very low. At the start of the game, there's only 10 gifts available to the game. And the gift stack is not going to recycle until something happens with the Doom, Despair, and the Lord track, and I'll get to that in just a second. But basically what's going to happen is we need to be buying these gifts. How do we buy these gifts? That's the great thing there. Because like I said, this is a tower defense game. As this game goes on, we are going to be rolling dice, and these dice are going to judge what kind of bad guys are going to come on the board, how many bad guys are going to come on the board, and what areas of the board these bad guys are going to come out on. We can get very low rolls and bring out super weak bad guys, or even the really most weakest, which don't even classify as demons, just a typical larva. Or we can roll really bad combinations, which just allows us to bring out the cacodemons or more powerful monsters. I'll cover that in just a second also. But the basic idea is these hordes are going to come out, and our heroes must work together to defeat these bad guys by rolling dice. Yeah, if we ever get D12s, hopefully. Most likely we're going to be rolling D6s, and we're going to be rolling D8s. And once we get really super powered up, maybe we'll get out to the D10s, but we need to be rolling dice, and we need to roll high enough on these dice in an effort to defeat these bad guys. Because every one of these bad guys has a certain defense level. If we can't roll high enough to defeat their toughness, we can't even harm these bad guys at all. And like I said, this is a tower defense game. These bad guys are going to keep marching on and on and on, whether we can attack them or not. If they're in a space with one of our heroes, they're going to attack our heroes. But after they're done attacking our heroes, they're going to continue to march on. If any of these bad guys manage to make it off the board by going through the start space where our heroes start, the Doom track is going to start going up. And like I said, if this Doom track gets to level 13, our heroes have lost the day. After the team phase, our players are going to get a chance to do actions. Now, players are going to perform actions in turn order, but the cool thing about this is every player's turn is you don't have to take your actions in a very specific order. Players have 3 actions available to them on every one of their turns. They have the action that allows them to move. They can move up to 2 spaces, and if they land in a space that has an invasion token, guess what? That invasion token is going to be revealed. We need to roll more dice, and more bad guys are going to come onto the board again, making our lives much more difficult, and they're always going to be friends with them. The next thing you do is you can attack, and the amount of attacks you're going to have is based on how many gifts you've got, how many attack powers you got, and everything you're doing to try to level up your heroes. And again, you're going to roll those dice, and hopefully, you're going to roll high enough to start taking out these bad guys. Taking out these bad guys is going to gain you courage. Courage is the currency of the game, the experience of the game that's going to allow you to buy these gifts. Remember, you need those gifts to take out these bad guys, because those gifts are going to power up your heroes. The final thing you can do is you can start laying out ambushes. Now, every one of these locations can have up to 4 ambushes, and the more powerful ambushes, the more heroes or the more patrols you have in your ambush, the more powerful your ambush will be. And these ambushes will help you start fighting back these horrible hordes, such as the special forces right there will allow you to roll 3d10 when the bad guys come into space, which means you have a really good chance of taking these guys out, making your life a lot easier. But these ambushes are expensive. They're going to cost you courage. You're going to have to pay recruitment points, and things like that are going to allow you to get more of these ambushes out there. But remember, you're spending your currency that you use to get your gifts. So it's a constant battle. Do you level up your hero to become more powerful, or do you put out these ambushes, which are permanent defenses until the horrible Lord wipes them out? Oh yes, that Lord can wipe out your ambushes. Be very, very careful. After we go through the hero phase, now we get to go to the bad guy phase. The very first thing that's going to happen in the bad guy phase is the despair track is going to advance. If the despair track ever circles completely, we're going to start adding more despair dice into the game. But there's a little bit of bonus. We're going to gain some extra courage because we know that things are working against us, and it's going to give us a little bit extra chance to fight back the hordes of hell. But the thing we have to be very, very careful about is every time this track circles, the Lord track is going to circle. If the Lord track ever circles completely, the Lord is going to advance. He's going to move up one space, and the space he just left and the space he just arrived to are just going to become basically, in a certain way, are going to become one area, which means the hordes of hell are going to start getting stronger, and they're going to start gathering more, and they're going to start building the pressure. Remember, if he gets to the beginning, our heroes are going to lose the game. After the tracks are going to advance, and if we have managed to survive this, and as the Lord advances, he is also going to start bringing out much more powerful bad guys with him. These bad guys have very special powers, such as ability to spread pestilence, the ability to attack our heroes from range, putting the pressure on our heroes, making sure our heroes can't just rest at the beginning and just wait for things to come their way. Our heroes need to go out there, risk their life, risk their hit points, and risk their abilities in effort to take out these bad guys. After the Lord has advanced, all the bad guys on the board except the Lord are going to advance. All the bad guys are going to advance. And if we have any of these tokens out here that move into a location with an ambush or a hero, you guessed it, we're going to start rolling some more dice, and again, some more bad guys are going to populate on the board, and things are going to get a little bit more difficult for our heroes. As the game goes on, we're going to continue with this tower defense strategies where we are doing our best to build ambushes, to level up our heroes in effort to take out these horrible hordes. If our heroes manage to get through all these horrible hordes, make it out to confront the bad guy, defeat the bad guy in the hell times part of the game, defeat him, bring him down to 0 hit points, our heroes are going to win the game. But if they're unable to stop this horrible beast from making it to the beginning of the track, he's going to continue to advance and advance and advance and advance, and our heroes are going to lose. Now, if you want to learn how to play Planet Apocalypse, you can check out my full tutorial video where I show you exactly how to play the game. Or if you want, you just see my sample gameplay where I go through about an hour and a half of gameplay approximately and show you exactly how a couple rounds work. I'm going to take the game and go through a couple different rounds, at least to the point where we're going to see what the hell time battles look like. Or if you want, you can check out my full review of the game. Now, if you have any comments or questions, make sure you leave them down in the YouTube comments down below. I'll be sure to get to them as quickly as I can. You can also feel free to email me at offtheshelfboardgamereviews at otsbgr@gmail.com. I'll definitely get your email as quickly as I can. If you enjoyed this video, series, click that like button, click that subscribe button. As always, thanks for watching.